So, welcome to another episode of the Leadership Espresso podcast. Today we have Dennis Hüttenmeister on the show. Welcome to the show, Dennis. I know you are a Senior Vice President of Sales and Execution and in being a world champion in vacuum induction technology. And today we want to know all about how you handle unpredictable, difficult situations in leadership. So welcome to the show.
Hey, Stefan, thank you for having me.
Yeah, wonderful. Let's jump right into it, as I really value your humor, the way you tackle difficult situations. And maybe you can just share one or two insights about how you go forward.
Well, what my job is here is basically managing all the special projects, so not the normal products, and also the large scale stuff. So all the stuff that has the biggest potential to, let's say, escalate. And in the last
that sounds
year,
like business as normal with lots of leaders.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yes. In the last years, I had the honor to be project manager for also in a sister company to build up the first European lithium refinery, which we did in Eastern Germany. And as you could imagine, starting in late 2019, that was quite a ride. With like two months into job, the COVID started, and then we had the Ukraine crisis and war, impacting like everything that you could touch in the field of project management for these plants. We managed some weeks ago the first lithium hydroxide was produced. What did we do? We started out pretty much with a blank piece of paper, and we needed to find a way in a very small company. I was employee number 9 in this company at the time, and today it's small. It's far more than 100. So basically, there were no structures. There was no one to ask for. Okay, how do we do that normally? So we had to find a way, and we did, fortunately. And what I think helped a lot during that time is not taking like everything too seriously. There will be impacts from it from all sides, and that's how it is. And in the upfront talk, there was a quote that I said is I talked to like a very cool guy who has like years and years and years of experience in plant management or plant project management. And what he said is, in the end, there's always a plant. So don't worry, just carry on. It'll work in the end.
Don't worry, there will be a plant.
There will be a plant.
So I guess you were the right person to tackle that task. So maybe you can describe in that setting, starting war in the Ukraine, COVID coming in, starting with a new company, probably with a new technology as well. So I guess with lots of projects managers, there would be a long list of things not working and things to handle. So what is your approach?
Basically, the first thing I found out is I did like a super fancy project management training course and so on. And I found out, there's nothing I can use.
Wow.
Yay! Super not helpful. I need to like find a way. Okay, how do I do that then? If none of the normal approaches is somehow applicable, and so I thought, okay, I have to recruit people. Okay, but there is a lockdown. How do I recruit people when I can't see the people? Obviously Teams was coming in, that helped a lot. But still, like everyone knows that there's kind of a hurdle or a barrier when you talk through Teams. So at some point there needed to be like personal contact. And what I really focused on was, well, yeah, of course, the hard facts need to be there. When I need someone to do mechanical stuff, should be an industrial mechanical engineer. If I need electrical stuff, of course. So yeah, these things must be there. But then I focused a lot on how is the fit between these people. Do I believe that they fit together, that they can become a team, even if the normal like team building stuff, like having the people together, go on a dinner or something, have them together for lunch, all is just not existing.
Yeah.
So I really try to focus on, okay, how can I make that? At the same time, I try to select people on along the way. Okay, how do I eliminate blind spots? So what's their experience? So is that the same or is that different? And I came out with a team of, in the beginning, 3 engineers. So we were only 4 in the team at that time, for a pretty large investment. So, but we were meant to do the owner's engineering, and we needed to find like other people to carry out like the majority of the work. So then we tried to team the people, and we need to find a way to have this coffee machine talks going on. And yeah, we implemented stand-ups in the morning. So every morning there would be stand-up. And it worked out so well that the people started to dial in 15 minutes early to talk about like everything. So that was really cool. Then I found out that if the boss is there, quote unquote, then normally there was somehow a feeling that, okay, now we're starting with a meeting. So I started giving them the room and not dial in early, to have like, okay, that's their safe space, let's say, so they can do their in whatever they want to talk about stuff. And I really dialed in at 8:30. So I gave them this room. And that was cool, because sometimes it was they talked about all kind of private stuff. Other times they talked through the topics, and when I dialed in, it was, yeah, we had this topic, but yeah, we already solved it. That was also pretty cool. Yeah.
So it's like leading with giving space.
Yeah, that's I feel that if you want a team to work, then you need to give them space. It's something that they need to be safe, and they of course, I hope that they also felt safe when I'm around. But it's of course it's a bit different when they're like with themselves, and I tried to give them this room, and then I said, okay, I also want to like develop the people. I want to like see where can I develop them, and of course, same thought, safety, you cannot do this in front of everyone. So well, I didn't want to, so I started doing one-on-one calls once a week with everyone.
Yeah.
So, and that was also a room. It wasn't like precasted or something. So I said, okay, if you have topics, go ahead. If I have topics, I tell you. We can talk about everything. If you have a private thing that you want to talk about, we'll talk about that. If there's professional things to talk about, we talk about that. If we're done after 5 minutes, fine. If we need more time, then let's see where we go. Or we continue later. So try to have it very open. And I found that the people really like that. And they are really actively searched for it. So when there was like too much workload and two weeks in a row we couldn't, then they really asked, okay, but this week we need to do the call. And
what was your intention behind these calls?
Um, I like to. I think it's a bit in the thought of servant leadership to have them, to support them as good as possible, and that is on two sides. That is in their professional advancement or in their professional development, like in the actual task to be done. If there's a question, there needs to be room to discuss it. But also like what's their goal in professional life? So where do they want to go? And I found it helpful for them and also for myself, because it's of course I develop also when I do that, to openly talk about, okay, where do you want to go, and what's your driver behind that? Why do you want to go there?
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember a situation that you had with someone who wanted to grow, but the setting was interesting and how you turned it around. Maybe you want to share about this one.
Yeah. There was a situation with a guy in my team. He wanted to develop into a leadership role, and he was long years in a leadership. He managed a production shop, and before that, so he was an engineer in my team, and before that, I gave them some smaller jobs with like partial management of the project, and I found out that didn't like turn out so super good. I tried to develop with him and help him in the situation after, say, I gave him feedback, but I also felt that in the situation he wasn't like too happy with it.
Yeah.
On the other hand, when he was in his like deep expertise, and he couldn't dive in like level 200 deep, then he glowed. It was like you really saw him smiling all day. Yeah?
This is what we call an expert.
Yeah. And then he was super good in this expert role. And I couldn't say that I was super happy with him in the leadership role. So I told him, I said, okay, but why do you want to go into this leadership role? And he said, yeah, I also want to earn more money. I said, okay, wrong answer. Well, not surprisingly, there was silence. I don't know. Okay, let me explain why I said that. And I said, told him directly, what I observe is that when you're working in your expert role, I see you super happy. I see you energized. I see you like you're really intrinsically motivated.
Yeah.
But when I expose you to these leadership roles, then I don't see that there's so much energy in it. Also, you burden yourself with more work, because it's somehow, I observe it as hard for you to that you give work away and you like let other people do the stuff. And that's something that's super important when you want to go into a leadership role. You cannot do everything on your own. And that's the reason why you're there. You have to lead other people. You have to find like the flight level and not the digging deep to work. And I told him, okay, what I can do for you is like find ways that in your leadership or in your expert track, you can also earn more money. I see you as the top expert here for this topic. And so I talked internally with other colleagues how we can like develop him in this direction. And also gave him the question, as I said, if you really want to go into a leadership position, I will support you, of course. But maybe just take the thought for a week or two and think about if you really want to lead. You transform your daily work from managing with data to managing to managing people. And if you're really, really happy with that, and I told him, why I'm not saying that. I'm not saying this because I don't want to help him in the leadership position, or that I whatever. I'm really, really convinced that if someone, if from the company perspective and also from the perspective of the people, if you find a position where the people like start to like really glow from the inside, that they're intrinsically motivated and that they are happy with, ultimately the company will also be happy with it, because they will develop more value to the company, and they will be more happy in their job, and they will stay long in the company, and they will sort like, from every perspective, it's the better way to find the best place for someone that really fits to their career, and like not have career tracks that you have to follow in order to make more money. So it's more like the position has to like fit to the guy and not the guy to the position.
I think that's an interesting thought about talent development. It's, you know, typically we have a position to fill in the company.
Yeah.
And then we're looking for someone inside or outside to fill that position. But, you know, when you come from a human-centric approach where you value people, where you see people want to contribute, and as you put it, people are glowing, you know, I think what you focus on and what you bring us to the table is that we are in a leadership position. We shall focus on the people to make them, or to inspire them, or to bring them in a position to glow.
Yeah.
And when people glowing, then automatically, you know, they will contribute, and contribution will then ultimately, you will see it in P&L.
In the end, yes.
So I'd be interested to know, were there any conflicts, or what happens when something happens? I mean, when there's the CFO saying, no, we can't allow us to put up more money, or how do you handle conflict situations?
I mean, the good thing in this company is that it was a immensely growing company. So, and in growing companies, there's so many things that are open, and there's so much development going on, and so many like screws not fixed, let's say, that with the right approach, or with the right arguments, let's say, you can make positions. And what we did with him is, like I said, okay, this project will be over at some time, but the knowledge of this guy who like basically engineered all of this will be super valuable. So in the end, what we want is someone to be like the head expert when it comes to how to make this stuff, how to make this process work. And so I said, okay, let's maybe have a position of like chief something, not chief, but like senior something engineer, and so to have maybe give him a small team of other experts that he like, where the focus is not so much on the management of these people, but like to have just a bit more force, a bit more broad to make things happen. And yeah, we started doing this, and that also opened up possibilities for higher salary. Of course, sure. It wasn't like really management, really leadership that he had to do. It was he could still focus on his job. And yeah, so we made this position for him. So in this case, it was somehow easy. In bigger corporations, of course, that's more complicated, because it's like more more structured. You have these certain tracks, and there, yeah, I think corporations should or need to think new somehow. I mean, there's corporations who do that. I think IBM started quite some years ago, having this. I think they call it fellow program, where they do exactly that. They found out that, and it's basically exactly the same thing. They found out that if they promote the best expert to the leadership position of his team, he gets unhappy. Because he can't do what he likes to do and what he's good at. And then they found out that these people leave for their competitors that sell them more for their old job. So
sure.
they had a shitty manager and they lost their top expert.
Yeah.
For just some euros. Why? There's no reason in that. And they found out and they built up like this whole track. And I think at IBM, it was at the time that you could earn as much money as a C-level person. Well, maybe not the CEO, but others in that fellow program.
Right.
And that really increased the retention rate a lot.
Yeah. Now, to sum up or to somehow, now we live in times where Trump one day he raises tariffs and another day he shortens them. Elon Musk approaches this or that way. How are you? How does that impact your business, and what is your way of dealing with that?
Well, there's the hard stuff. When you want to export to US, makes it harder. But in the end, when you're convinced that your product is the better one, and you can convince the customers of doing that, okay. But if there's a running project, and you already sold for a certain price, that gets interesting, and that's where you, I think, in the end, you need to be honest, and you need to tell your customers, okay, we didn't plan for that. We can try everything we can to somehow manage through that and find ways. But yeah, it is what it is, and you have to manage it, and it's no reason to get frustrated about it. It is what it is in the end, and it will turn out somehow.
Yeah, it comes again to this one mentor, let's call this guy, who told you in the end there will be a plant.
Yeah.
So I think we waste so much time in focusing on external factors rather than just getting things fixed. And as engineers, I mean, we're trained to fix things.
Yeah.
And what I truly value about your approach is that you fix things by believing in people. You give them the space to grow. You give them connection that makes them feel heard and seen. So there's no wishy-washy around it. There's no trick around it. It's a very powerful, authentic, big-hearted approach to people and getting things done.
Thank you.
In the end, there will be a plant.
In the end, there will be a plant. I think I tell people a lot that I cannot do it without them. They are the experts. I can get the gravel out of the way and get stones out of their way.
Yeah.
In the end, they need to do what they are better at. I am, and they are the expert. And at the same time, for me, this also means responsibility and accountability. So they are responsible for their work package. If there's things coming in their way, that's my job to get rid of these things. I want to make an atmosphere and want to make a place for them where they can work freely. My job is to like make this space and to manage like everything around it. That's what I'm good at. So they need to trust me that I do what I can do well, and I trust them that they do what they can do well. So yeah, there's also a lot of trust in it.
Yeah, I like this approach. There's about making space for them to work freely, so they can focus on what they can do best. And this will benefit everyone. It will benefit the client. It will benefit our company. It will benefit our P&L. And in the end, it sounds a bit weird these days, but everybody's going to be happy.
Yeah, it's a horrible thing to think about.
No, Dennis, thank you so much for this time. It is to be continued, certainly.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing your time, your insights about this human-centric, happy approach.
Thank you so much. Was a fun time.